welcome back to channel YouTube Temanku Sehat. Bersama saya Maria dan Dr. Anissa SPPD. Today we will talk about autoimmune disease, or people usually call it with lupus. Stay tuned and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe channel YouTube Temanku Sehat. Halo Dr. Anissa.
Halo Mbak Maria.
Halo. On this day, on this episode, we will talk about autoimmune disease, or people usually call it with lupus.
Yeah.
What is actually about the autoimmune disease or lupus is, Doc?
Yeah. Thank you Mbak Maria about the question. So the autoimmune disease is actually so much disease, not only lupus.
Okay.
But what people know and maybe more much to happen is lupus, or we call it systemic lupus erythematosus. Yeah, but actually the autoimmune disease it's so much disease. So the basic or the principle of this is our immunity or our antibody. It's attack our own cells.
Okay.
So that's supposed to protect our body, but it attacks ourselves. So it's very dangerous.
How dangerous the disease is?
Yeah.
Sebenarnya seberapa bahaya sih Dok penyakit ini?
Yeah, actually this little complicated Mbak Maria, because this autoimmune disease so much that we don't know yet. For instance, it's come from genetic, and before it's really become a disease, it's already that maybe the antibody itself already in our body. Jadi sebelum sakit sebenarnya sudah ada bakat atau dari genetik, di mana sudah ada mungkin antibody atau sistem pertahanan tubuh kita yang menyerang diri kita sendiri. But maybe not become a disease yet, tapi belum jadi penyakit mungkin. Jadi baru ada antibody itu sendiri. So maybe if you check the antibody, it can be positive, but maybe you don't feel anything. So the dangers, it depends in what stage that people that have autoimmune is diagnosed. Jadi bahaya atau tidaknya tergantung pada stadium apa. Kalau dia kebetulan diperiksa, misalnya antibody yang menyerang tubuhnya sendiri sudah ada, tapi dia belum bergejala, tentu itu kan belum berbahaya. Tapi ada kemungkinan itu akan menjadi suatu penyakit. Dan the stage of the disease also, the symptom is very various, from very little symptoms until very severe symptom. Jadi gejala atau symptomsnya dari sangat ringan sampai sangat berat.
Biasanya gejalanya tuh apa sih Dok? Ada nggak gejala khususnya?
Okay, for instance, I take the case of autoimmune disease in this systemic lupus erythematosus. Jadi pada kasus lupus erythematosus sistemik ini, kita ambil sebagai contoh dari salah satu yang paling populer ya untuk penyakit autoimmune disease, penyakit autoimun. Nah, pada penyakit lupus ini ada yang namanya target organ. Jadi kalau kita bicara seseorang dia sudah sakit ya, bukan hanya yang tadi kita bilang spektrum yang belum sakit tapi sudah terdeteksi misalnya antibodinya. Kalau dia sudah sakit artinya dia sudah ada keluhan atau gejala. When the patient or the people have the symptoms of the disease, so we diagnose. But we have to know the symptom and the disease itself, it come from which organ. Jadi which target organ, because lupus have target organ. Ya, jadi punya organ target. Apa? Kalau kita when we talk about lupus, saat kita bicara tentang lupus, we have to talk which target organ that in this person. Ya. For instance, misalnya bisa dia only kulit, skin, target organ. Can be ginjal, renal. Ya, can be jantung, kardiak. Ya, jadi bisa juga muskuloskeletal, jadi rasanya pegel-pegel. Can be blood, become anemia. Jadi bisa jadi
banyak
anemia. ya. The most severe is if he become seizure atau kejang. It's if the target organ in the central nervous system. Jadi kalau di sistem saraf otak atau pusat itu keluhannya juga semakin berat, yaitu kejang. Jadi target organ dari lupus ini sendiri akan menentukan keluhan dan gejala dia orang tersebut, ya. Dia apa cuman only body pain, cuman sakit-sakit aja. And the very famous is you have butterfly rash. Jadi di kulitnya bisa seperti merah-merah seperti kupu-kupu. So very sensitive, photosensitive, very sensitive to the UV dari from the sun. Jadi sangat sensitif kalau ada sinar matahari. Or if you have heart disease or you have renal problem, it can be from lupus also.
Dok, sebenarnya kalau penyakit lupus ini bisa nggak sih dok disembuhkan?
Ya, sadly, we only can control it. Jadi lupus hanya bisa dikontrol because so many factors that involve in the development of this autoimmune disease itself. From the beginning of the individual is born, is also related to the genetic, so many study and not sure yet what caused the lupus. Jadi nggak jelas juga penyebabnya apa. Banyak sekali penelitian yang dilakukan sejak dia lahir, bahkan untuk kembar yang benar identik atau tidak. Jadi memang ada faktor genetik di sana dan ada faktor lingkungan, ya, dari diet, dari bahan-bahan kimia, ya, yang menjadi prediksi juga kenapa angka untuk terjadinya lupus ini semakin tinggi. Diprediksi juga karena mulai banyaknya polutan zat kimia dan pada penggunaan juga pada bahan-bahan kimia sehari-hari, misalnya kosmetik, pasta gigi, makanan yang banyak mengandung zat kimia. It's contribute factor that make this can possible become develop of the one of autoimmune disease. Jadi salah satu faktor yang mengkontribusi, but also genetic factor have roles there. So it's not easy. So once, like I said before, even you can diagnose from beginning, or you find this antibody in your body, you're not directly meaning you can sick or have symptom. Maybe you don't have symptom yet, but after that when you have symptoms, setelah ada gejala dan the gejala sesuai with the organ target, sesuai target organ yang kita punyai. Nah, saat itu sudah terjadi, it means it's long time before that is already developed. Jadi jauh sebelum itu sebenarnya kamu udah sakit.
Lalu kalau kita udah kena,
nah, so once it's become already become symptoms atau udah ada gejalanya, kita hanya bisa mengkontrol how to control the symptoms. Jadi kita membuat relapse untuk simptom itu untuk menjadi kita sebut sebagai remission atau remisi. But once cure become a little sangat ini ya, tidak mudah. Jadi penyembuhan itu jadi tidak mudah, not easy, because it can come anytime because it's already in your body. That you have the tendency to have autoimmune disease, or you already have it. So when it's once and then you cure, it can come or relapse anytime. Jadi bisa sembuh kapan saja. Kamu hanya bisa kontrol stres kamu, kimia kamu, tapi genetik kamu nggak bisa kontrol. Lingkungan. Jadi sadly to say, ya, kalau kita sudah terdiagnosis hanya bisa dikontrol tapi tidak bisa sembuh sepenuhnya. Tapi kalau dia terkontrol, ya terkontrol pun ada yang complete, ada yang partial. So complete remission or partial remission. So if what we want is of course complete remission. Jadi kalau udah complete remission kan nggak ada keluhan lagi Mbak Maria. Tapi apakah kamu sembuh dari autoimun? Tidak sembuh. Tapi kamu tidak bergejala. Tapi kalau diperiksa misalnya marker atau penanda dari autoimun ini tetap akan dapat dideteksi.
So how to treat or how to control this disease, Dok?
To treat or control the disease also of course depends on the symptoms and the degree of the severity of the disease. Jadi tergantung pertama tadi keluhannya adalah apa, target organnya apa, karena obatnya walaupun secara umum adalah imunosupresan atau antiinflamasi atau yang bisa mensupresi sistem imun, tapi ada obat-obat khusus yang tergantung sistem organ apa yang terkena. Kalau khusus ginjal tambahannya apa, ya, dan berapa lamanya juga berbeda. Seperti itu. Itu satu pengobatan itu dari target organnya. Kemudian adalah it's about severity. Jadi kalau it's mild, of course, the dose and the duration of treatment will become more shorter. Jadi lebih pendek. And the dose of course more small. Jadi lebih sedikit. Tapi kalau udah parah, dan target organnya juga yang penting, misalnya in neuropsychiatric lupus, jadi the target organ is in the brain, so you have to the prognosis also not good, yeah. So also the medicine and the drug we use is little high and longer duration of usually to keep not relapse, to keep remission.
Oke. Tadi kan dokter udah ngejelasin nih faktor-faktor tentang autoimmune disease, dari genetik, terus the others kimia. So the others factor.
So many patients also ask me about this, or regular people that know and they afraid. So many patients come only little body pain and they read about lupus and they become very afraid. Jadi mengapa topik ini harus di-highlight juga, karena banyak sekali orang sekarang juga sudah pintar, sudah tahu apa itu penyakit autoimun, sudah banyak baca, sehingga banyak juga mereka menanyakan siapa dan apa sih lupus ini, apakah lupus yang main film itu? Bukan ya, dan kadang-kadang mereka juga sudah membaca sendiri, ya googling misalnya bahwa ini keluhannya cuman nyeri-nyeri, pegel-pegel, dan memang khasnya adalah pada wanita, lebih banyak prevalensinya pada wanita. So it's the prevalence is bigger in women than and young woman, young girl sometimes, ya, more than the men. One of the theory is because the hormonal itself, but genetic and another things, and unknown for sure why young girl or young woman more have this lupus more than men. Jadi, and they asking, oh doctor, my body it's pain. I'm afraid I'm lupus, because they young woman and they afraid because they know this serious disease. Jadi they asking what can make me not become lupus. Jadi apa? But we cannot until now all over the world, all the study cannot conclude what the exact factor that make this lupus. Have a genetic factor, ada faktor genetik. Have chemical, have drugs. So we have to avoid drugs that for instance hormonal estrogen, and then like drugs that little hard, or any drugs can make it in chemical, and stress also.
Stress can be,
so but not sure what make people, but for sure have genetic factor.
Utamanya itu genetik
ya? Tapi tentu ditambah juga dengan faktor lingkungan, zat kimia, dan faktor stres tadi juga. Jadi jangan stres-stres, Mama Maris.
Nggak boleh stres.
Nggak boleh stres.
Tapi mukanya tuh kurang stres.
Because this stress make too much disease can come from this stress from your psychological, it can make your autoimmune imbalance and so many factor. Jadi itu bisa ada turunan genetiknya, tapi bukan penyakit keturunan sih. Jadi susah juga kalau ditanya, dok, genetiknya diturunkan, tapi belum tentu akan diturunkan kalau dia lifestyle-nya sehat. So is genetic factor not not for sure your children will have it if they have good healthy lifestyle, not stress. But they have genetic maybe, but not sure it can become.
Tapi kan orang zaman sekarang tuh kayaknya banyak ya dok yang kena stres. Dokter punya nggak sih tips-tips buat kita nih?
Tips buat stres berarti episode baru lagi. Iya. Apa sih kalau kata orang Jawa nerimo ya?
Nerimo.
Iya. Ya, let it flow lah. Jadi ikuti aja hidup ini, ikuti aja jalannya seperti air, jangan dilawan. Tapi kadang-kadang susah ya.
Susah dok.
Iya susah. Banyak maunya kita.
Jadi dokter, for the conclusion of this talk, punya nggak sih dok beberapa tips supaya kita terhindar?
Okay, my recommendation for of course this for general ya. Jadi you have to keep your healthy lifestyle because you will don't know any genetic disease that you have in your genetic, any disease that you have. Jadi kamu kan nggak tahu kita punya genetik apa. Jadi harus selalu lah jaga keep healthy lifestyle with balanced food and natural food. Yeah, not too much like our episode before, not too much chemical. Jadi jangan banyak makan makanan yang produk kemasan ya. Okay, it's not sure, not for sure. Tapi kan seenggaknya ini kimia kita hindarin.
Okay.
If not for lupus, at least for cancer or another. Ya, jadi jangan banyakkan makan yang produk alami aja. Maksudnya yang bikin sendiri di dapur kita. Jangan yang kemasan, makanan, minuman maupun apapun ya.
Kemasan instan
Ya,
kaleng-kaleng
kemudian
gitu ya.
kalau hati-hati juga menggunakan make up. Dilihat dulu, iya, karena ada beberapa yang disinyalir mengandung bahan kimia juga kan yang bisa mungkin memprecipitate terjadinya udah kamu punya genetik, so it's the genetic become a disease because your lifestyle is not good. Yeah, let's say like that. This for prevention. Secondly, if you found or you feel any symptoms ya, and you are young woman or young girl, jadi kalau kamu perempuan atau wanita usia muda, kemudian kamu you feel you have this red like butterfly rash in your face, and your hair easy to fall down, jadi kalau gampang rambut rontok, kemudian suka merah-merah dan sensitif terhadap sinar matahari ya, and if you have seizure ya, tiba-tiba kejang ya, kemudian body pain or you have in your skin sensitive ya, and then you have problem with urinal, your urination become fruity ya, jadi ada busa di buang air kecilnya ya, or your body all become big swollen, jadi bengkak. Your eyes, your face, and your foot. Jadi kalau ada bengkak penimbunan cairan, ya, and the most severe, like I said, is the seizure. You have to careful and to maybe this is autoimmune disease. Yeah, also you easy to get in your mouth like or oral ulcer. Jadi sariawan.
Oh, sariawan. Ya, sebenarnya gejalanya berarti ini ya, apa namanya, umum lah, common lah, kayak hampir semua orang kena.
One of this autoimmune disease, this lupus, is sometimes very difficult to diagnose because it can mimic any diseases. Jadi because from all over your body, it can attack which organ. So sometimes it's little bit tricky to diagnose this disease. Jadi nggak semudah itu, agak sulit juga kadang-kadang mencari diagnosis lupus. Even though sometimes you check the antibody of this lupus, and the especially if already the patient have the treatment before, and then this become relapse. Sometimes you have to choose or you have to differentiate. Jadi harus dipisahkan the symptoms is from the disease itself, from the lupus itself, or from the treatment. Oke, dari penyakitnya atau dari efek samping obat, from the drug that used to for the treatment, because the drugs also not mild drugs, or another infection, because lupus patient also easy to get prone or more sensitive to another infection, let's say tuberculosis or another infection. It also can make the disease, the symptom come. So you have to differentiate this if not the newly diagnosed, bukan baru didiagnosa, kamu harus bedakan lupus dia datang dengan relapse. Ini karena lupusnya yang relapse, apa karena efek samping obatnya, apa karena ada infeksi yang baru. Karena lupus bukan penyakit infeksi. Dia adalah penyakit autoimun, imunitas. Nah, dan tiga ini is sometimes overlapping. So it's little tricky. You have to meet your doctor and consult your doctor good. Also the doctor have to careful because can have to combine the symptom with the laboratory. Jadi nggak bisa juga sepenuhnya. You cannot depends on all the laboratory. Kadang-kadang karena udah di treat, the laboratory is negative. Sometimes after you treat, the laboratory negative, but it's not meaning you're not lupus.
Susah juga.
Jadi belum tentu itu negatif bukan lupus. Belum tentu itu positif kamu sakitnya lupus. Bisa aja itu positif tapi belum jadi penyakit. Sometimes it's positive. Let's say the anti-nuclear antibody positif, but you not sick yet, it's scan. And then I have one patient for instance. Jadi saya ceritakan ada pasien saya. Entah dia banyak kepintaran, bagus juga sih screening. Dia screeningnya periksa ANA dia periksa anti-nuclear antibody, salah satu penanda
autoimun,
penyakit autoimun, tidak hanya lupus, jadi semua penyakit autoimun, jadi secara in general. Padahal dia nggak ada sakit apa-apa saat itu. Unfortunately, the result is came positive. The anti-nuclear antibody result is positive, but he don't have any major symptoms or any very mild symptoms, so not disturb her. But because this test become positive, she become very panic, very anxiety, and very depression, and very stressed. This can make this genetic of the lupus really become disease of lupus. Jadi karena dia stres, malah jangan-jangan itu membuat jadi sakit beneran. Jadi so careful, laboratory doctor have to give the interpretation. So nggak bisa periksa-periksa sendiri and then jadi stres sendiri because it's positive, but if you not sick yet, no need medicine. But if it's negative but you sick, maybe you still lupus. So this is very tricky and you have to consult good to the doctor.
So for the conclusion is jangan lupa untuk selalu hidup sehat. Yang kedua, kalau udah ada gejalanya, temuin dokter dan dicek itu apa benar lupus atau bukan, atau autoimunnya itu atau bukan. Dan kalau memang temanku sehat ada yang terkena penyakit ini, jangan lupa juga buat selalu cek dan kontrol secara rutin ke dokternya supaya tidak relapse, tidak berulang lagi. Oke temanku sehat, udah berakhir nih di episode kali ini. Tetap dukung kita ya dengan cara share, like, and subscribe channel YouTube Temanku Sehat. Bye-bye.